might be the best that I can do. That's cool.
This is UMAR AHMED for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. First interview of the year with Mr. JB. Firstly, how was Ghana?
Ghana was live, man. As I said to you before the start, always happy to be back home. See family most importantly, but just to be in an environment that I grew up in. So no, it was proper good, man.
A good time to go as well and leave the UK.
Yeah, for real. With all that was happening, I was checking back in and I was thinking, am I really gonna come back to England? But listen, we're here to fight and to box. So I was like, I gotta come back, get back into camp, get a date, and work towards that. But it was a well-needed time away, man. I think it's important. If you're from England, cool. If you're from other parts of the world, always good to go back and to kind of touch base and then to come back. So for me, it was a well-needed break.
Well, I'm glad that was the case. JB, before we talk about what this year entails for you, hopefully a massive year for you, let's just reflect on your performance against Marko Kalic. There was a fair amount of criticism after the fight. How do you reflect on your own performance?
I think it's simple as, for me, it was as simple as something happened that I didn't expect to happen in terms of my eyes almost closing, and it was just a matter of dealing with it. Now I can sit back a few months after the fight and say, cool, I've had that experience now. If it were to happen again, I know what I could do. And the thing, Uma, is that, before a fight, you're like, yeah, I'm willing to go to the deep end. I'm willing to do this, to do that, to do that. You never know until you're in it. So for me, it was like, yeah, I said that I'm willing to go the extra mile to fight till, my last breath or whatever. But like I said, man, I hadn't been in that situation before. So for me, it was something new. And I was like, cool, how am I going to deal with it? So it was a question that was asked of me. And for me, I thought I gave the right answer. Like I came back, I stopped him in the 7th round. So for me, it's an experience that I can tick off now. And I can say, I've been there, I've done it. So if I do end up in that situation again, against these top fighters, I can say, cool, I know what to do. I've got the experience there now. And that's what matters to me. So it was more of a fight to gain and experiencing something that's never happened before. We're used to seeing a fight go, one way and you come out, you win, which is good. But this kind of had like an up and down, but the result was still the same, which was to win. So for me, it was all pros, man.
Are you glad kind of that experience happened in that fight against Kalic rather than a world title fight, let's say against Bivol, where you're really...
Yeah, I feel like it happened at the right time. You can't really say the right time, but I feel in that fight it happened, and I'm like, cool, it happened in my 13th pro fight. Cool, it wasn't for a world title, it wasn't for this, that's cool. So I think for me, if it does happen, like I said, at the big stage, I can say I've been there before. I know what to do. I remember what I did in that fight when this happened. So that's the most important thing for me, man, because if it happens in a big fight and you lose a fight because your eye was closing or you didn't know what was happening or you couldn't deal with it, it's unfortunate. But for me now, I could say I can try not to be in that position again, Uma, with my eye closing, but you just don't know with boxing, man. There was only one shot that made the swelling happen, and as soon as I got hit on it, straight away it swelled up. So it's only one punch away in boxing for these things to happen.
Josh, whilst you were away in Ghana, I'm sure you were trying to relax and take your mind off things, but I'm sure what entailed for yourself in 2021 came into your mind now and again. Did you have a little think about perhaps what could happen for yourself this year whilst you were away?
I did. I think for me, activity is key. To be active. Obviously, we know the situation with the virus and everything, but to just have as much fights as possible. British title, like I've won that, I've vacated it. Rich has won it recently against Shaq. I do want to congratulate Craig still. Good win for him, man. Shaq will be back as well. I did a lot of work with Shaq in a lot of camps, so I got time for him, man. And for me, I think the European, like, I don't know what the rankings are, and I don't know who the champion is, whether it's the European and then it's the EU. I don't know which one is which and which one's better, but whoever's got that, I think that should be my next aim. Move in that direction anyways, do you know what I mean? So the British level is cool. There's still some good fighters in the British scene, as we saw, man. Not to drift, but Yarden Arthur had a good fight, good scrap. Obviously Craig done his thing. I'm not too sure what's happening with Johnson when he's next fighting, but everyone's doing something in my division nationally and internationally. So for me, it's about moving forward, man.
Josh, let's talk about Anthony Yard. You two were on a collision course, on a collision course for a mega fight, I believe. Of course, he suffered his second professional loss to Lyndon Arthur. Just quickly ask you first, what did you make of Lyndon's win and his performance?
Great win from Lyndon. Great fight, man. He boxed the right fight, I felt. I watched it. It was a very, do you know what? It was a really, really close fight. I've only watched it once, and that was when it happened. So I haven't gone back to rewatch it over and over again. So from talking like I saw it when I watched it, I said it's a close fight. Lyndon won it, and listen, he's done well, man. It was a fight that he probably wasn't treated as the champion because it was for the Commonwealth belt, right? And he came out and he won. So we have to rate him. We have to congratulate him as always, man. And I think for Yard, man, the loss, like, listen, man, people lose in life. You lose and you bounce back and you come back and you win. So it's I'm taking nothing away from him. It wasn't this like, cool, you bounce back, you fight again, and that's it. Like, it is what it is, man. I think people are just being too harsh on everything. That's my opinion, man. We look at the greats; they've had losses before, man. So it's just one of those ones. I don't think it devalues him or it does this or it does that. It was a good competitive fight that he was in, and Lyndon came out on top on that night. So I don't know if they're gonna fight again, but if they do, we'll all be there watching. And again, whoever shows up that night will win.
So yeah, depending what happens in that rematch, that Yard Boatsi Yard fight isn't still dead, is it?
No, it's not dead. I think people like his style, they like my style, and they think what would happen if these two were to fight. I think it's as simple as that, man. Um, if you look at like the old time fighters that have fought, some of them had losses already, but you were still intrigued. You know, when two styles that you thought, oh, this is going to be a good collision course. When they fought, we were still intrigued and we wanted to see it. So I don't think that him losing like doesn't like. I don't know. Do you still want to see me fight Yard? Like, even I'm curious to see what it's going to be like when I fight Yard. Like, it is what it is. We've got good styles, and I think it will go off once the bell goes. So it'll still be a good fight.
I think in answer to your question, I think I want to see you fight Lyndon Arthur. I want to see the rematch
Oh,
between
snap.
Yard and Arthur. I want to see you fight Yard. I
Yeah,
want to see obviously Craig Richards is now British champion. He's with that great win over Shakan Pitters. As you said, Shakan still can bounce back, I think. It's an
yeah, man.
interesting mix there. And we haven't even mentioned Callum Johnson yet. So
Exactly. So listen, like I say, man, I think people losing, it happens. We don't want it to happen, but it does happen, man. And for me, I'm not looking at defeat. Like, I'll be real. I'm only thinking about winning. And when I'm in there, it's win at all costs. And this is the kind of talk that I said it's easy to do when you're not in the ring, but I had to show up for it last. I had to give an account of it in my last fight. And like I said, man, that's why I said it was an experience that is valuable to me, because I could have come out and just won the fight. Cool, all right, he won, but something happened, and I had to really ask myself, like, yeah, about this. Like, what are you gonna do? Your vision is limited in your left eye. How are you gonna come through it? And talking about vision, bro, let me talk about Dan Dubois and Joyce. Great win for Joyce here, but you see, like, Dan's eye going, my eye went and his eye went, yeah, but it's still different because I felt like his eye was even worse. And loads of people have said he quit, he did this, he did that. But I just think that I we can't, I don't know, none of us know what he was feeling in that moment. Do you know what I mean? Um, I don't know what he felt like. When my eye was like closing, I was like, damn, my eye's closing. I refused to get stopped because my eye closed. Like, I'm gonna fight hard and fight hard and fight hard. And I said, when I sat down in at the end of round three when my eye was closing, I said, someone's gonna quit tonight and it's not gonna be me. I literally said this to myself. If it's not gonna be me, it means it has to be Khalid, right? So I already made up my mind that 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 wasn't gonna happen. That wasn't an option. And for Dandy Bar's one, it's different. Like, his was what, into the 10th round, didn't it?
yes, yeah, 10th round.
10th, yeah, mine went up to 7. You see what I'm saying? So it's different, man. And you got someone like Joe Joyce hitting you. Even me, I wouldn't want to be hit by Joe Joyce. Do you know what I mean? So I think he's received a lot of. It's been harsh towards him, I feel, man. And we have to pardon him, man. Do you know what I mean? It is a fighting sport, and when you're in there, it's time to fight. It's time to sharpen that. But we don't know what the guy was feeling. And again, they say you live to fight another day. I'll say all of this, but like I said to you, when it happened to me, I said, bro, when quitting is not an option. I said, taking the exit ball is not an option, bro. I sat down and I said, we're gonna fight, and I'm gonna come out on top somehow. I don't know how, but I said I'm gonna come out on top. And Joe's big him up as well, man. He done well, got a great win, and he moves on as well, man.
I think you're completely correct there about Daniel. We saw the doctor's report come out about a week later after the fight, and the report said if he carried on, potentially he could have lost some vision. So that would have ended his career at such a young age.
Losing your vision over boxing, I could tell you now, bro, it's not worth it.
Just picking this back up, JB had a phone call, I think. Yeah, you were talking about Daniel and his vision.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, like, you said the reports came back and they said, had he have carried on, he could have lost his vision. And I said, losing your vision over boxing is not worth it. We're not here to argue about it, to reason about it. Losing your vision over boxing is not worth it, man. It's not at all, because Monday came, everyone got home and went to work, and you're there laying in bed with one vision because of boxing. It's not worth it, man. But sometimes my mentality when I'm not in the ring is very different to when I'm in the ring. Like outside the ring, I'm cool. I'm not trying to hurt anyone. Get on with life. I'm all about peace. But in there, my mindset's the opposite. It's time. It's you or the other person. There's no questions about that as well. So sometimes what I say outside the ring when I'm not fighting is totally different to when I'm in there and my mindset.
Oh, that has to be the case. JB, just before we close off, when can we expect to see you back in the ring? Have you had any talks with your management and also Eddie and when you can be back in the ring?
Yeah, we're looking at about March. Not sure on the date, but we're looking at about March. I'm back in training already, so we'll aim for March this year.
Okay, well, listen, we look forward to your fight hopefully in March. Is there anything you'd like to add before we go?
No, it's a new year, and I did a post the other day, and I said not many made it to this year, so we've made it to this year, so we must be grateful for it. And wherever it is that we're after in this life, we keep chasing it. Like I said, we've made it to this year, man, and many people didn't, and many people have been hindered, and the businesses and the ideas and everything has gone crashing down because of the virus. But if we're still here and we have life, we have hope, man. So we start again, and we regroup, and we keep going and building and building. Literally, we keep building till we die and life is over, then cool. If it's not over in that sense, then we keep going and we keep going and keep moving forward. So people remain positive, remain optimistic, and they say be kind to people, man. So if you can make someone laugh, make them laugh. Try not to make people cry. If it happens, make sure you make them laugh again. But listen, man, I feel blessed to be here and to just be doing what I'm doing, and to have life in itself, man. Because again, I just came back from Ghana, so you get to see there's nice bits of Ghana, but you get to see the reality of life as well, that people have very little and they live with it, they're happy with it. And you get to see that people actually have nothing. There's no hope in some people's lives, and it's very unfortunate, man. And we have hope in this life that we're living. So I'm forever grateful for that.
Top words there, Joshua BUATSI. Glad to see you're well. Hopefully your family is good as well.
Respect,
and we will hopefully see you back in the ring in March, as I said, and I'll see you there. All right. Thanks for a quick catch up on IFL TV today, and take care.
No stress. Have a good one, bro. Thank you.
Bless, Josh. Thank you.
Man.